So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. And welcome to the first installment of the Our TWD Stories video series. I've been doing YouTube now for a while, and all the content on my YouTube channel is based on The Walking Dead. So it's reaction videos, reviews, chats, interviews with cast members, everything Walking Dead related. But over the years, doing all of these videos and meeting so many people from all over the world and people sharing their stories with me in little pockets here and there, I've learned an awful lot about my viewers, but also about the Walking Dead viewers and the Walking Dead fandom in general. And I have a platform here where I can get on and talk and people will hear me, people will tune in for whatever reason. It still baffles me to this day. But I know there's so many people out there that maybe don't have a platform or don't have a way to get their voices heard, so I thought it would be fun to try and collect as many stories as possible, compile them all into 5 separate videos and give you guys a chance to get your stories heard. You've sent in video submissions, photos, text posts, all detailing your memories with the show in one way or another, and I'm not gonna lie, like editing it was emotional and so beautiful to see what a TV show has done and how it's impacted so many people's lives. So this is video number 1, topic number 1, which is how did you get into The Walking Dead, who were you with, when was it, all that fun stuff. Basically your first experience with the show. And to start things off, my first experience with the show. Hang on, I probably should have done research for this, but I didn't because I've been editing like an absolute mad bitch for the last few days. Okay, so I started watching the show around August of 2015. Like so many of the people's stories, was going through a rough patch in my life. I needed something to distract me. My dad had been trying to wear me down for years to watch this show, and zombies weren't my thing. I was like, I don't want to watch it. No, I have no interest in it. This isn't for me. Put it on one night, became absolutely mind-numbingly obsessed. The rest is history. And then sometime after starting watching the show, I started to get really into the online side of things, because the online fandom back then was probably one of the biggest online fandoms I had ever seen, and I was like, whoa. People like make friends and talk to each other over this show. I want to be a part of that. Then I started my YouTube channel and everything just kind of took off from there. I do love the show. It's been a huge part of my life. It's made such an impact on me. The memories I've made, the people I've met, but it's been such a comfort place to me too. Season after season, I don't know, it just feels like a safe place to run away and hide to. So I am so thankful for that summer in 2015 that my dad finally got my ass to watch this show. And just before we get started, real quick, my brother's band just dropped their first single. Their name is Lyterian, and you can find them pretty much anywhere that you can stream music. They're on Spotify, they're on YouTube Music, they're on Tidal. I think it's going up on Apple Music soon too. YouTube, if I didn't mention that already, I think I did. I can't remember what I said 2 seconds ago. They're an independent band, they're not signed yet, and their vibe is kind of old school rock mixed with a bit of indie, mixed with a bit of punk. There's something for everyone in there. But their first single, At the Ballroom, just dropped this weekend. I've linked all their social medias down below as well if you want to go give them a follow on Instagram, Twitter. Keep up with all band related news because their EP is probably going to be dropping within the next... I don't want to give a time frame yet, but their EP will be dropping soon. They're a bunch of real talented people. They write all their own stuff and have a serious love for music. So yeah, so I'd really appreciate it if you go show them some love, stream it wherever you can and spread the word. So now it's time to hear some of your guys' stories.
Hey Kate, my name is Sadie Louise, and I wanted to start by saying thank you because I think this is a great idea. I started watching The Walking Dead in winter of 2020, so I put it off for a really long time. Prior to that, my stepdaughter has been obsessed with the show. My husband watches the show, and I've heard all about it over the years, but like I said, not till winter of 2020, and since then I've been obsessed. I've seen every season repeatedly in the last 2 years almost, and I can't get enough. In fact, I learned about your channel through the what was the Skybound reactions. So yeah, thanks again. Excited for the next one.
Captain Chaos 86 on Instagram said, "Hey Katie, I found The Walking Dead when I was going through a divorce in 2011. It definitely took my mind off my troubles, although it did make me cry a few too many times. Lol." Ooh, you got started on telling me about your favourite character story too. We will save that for video 2.
Hi, my name is Tasha, and yeah, question 1 is, when was the first time you watched the show and with who. So, I was watching it with my uncle, and it was the premiere of season 4, so they had the marathons on for season 1, 2, and 3, and I watched season 3 with them till season 4. I was very hooked onto the show very quickly because I loved the characters and the dynamic of the story, so yeah.
Diane on YouTube said, I'm not computer savvy, however I will try to submit my story. It was a long time coming as my kids encouraged me to watch and I refused for years. They were right. I was wrong. I was hooked at season 1, episode 1. Have been a fan ever since. Buffy Supremacy, sick name by the way. We love Buffy. On Instagram said, when did you start watching the show? I started watching the show when season 1 to 7 was on sale for like £1 and I was instantly obsessed. I think I binged the first 3 seasons in a week.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dagan S. Broad from the Let's Get Ready Network. Shout out to Katie for doing this very, very cool project. Hashtag OurTWDstories. I actually have been watching this show since the very beginning. I remember very well turning on the television to AMC and watching that very first episode in a very spooky mood on Halloween 2010, so 12 years ago, which is just crazy to say. You know, I remember zombies were kind of the thing at the time, the craze, if you would. Of course, you also had the comic book laid down as a sort of foundation, so there was a lot of hype for that, and how is this Kirkman adaptation going to look on the screen? And I think the show really delivered and set the tone in that first episode, in that first season. You know, not just as a great zombie show with a bunch of blood and guts and action and that kind of thing, but also a great story with a character that you could really get invested in with Rick and all the other characters too, and you really wanted to follow them and see where their journey ended up. So I've been hooked on this show really since that first haunting image opening shot, and it's a little bittersweet that it's ending, but I definitely feel very lucky that it's been a part of my life for the last decade plus now.
I was 9 years old. It was season 2, Chupacabra, episode 5. I watched it with my mom and my sister, says Sierra Sinclair. I started watching The Walking Dead around 2011, 2012, and I can remember loving the show. However, due to only being 5 or 6 at the time, I wasn't allowed to watch it anymore because of the violence. One morning I came downstairs to an episode on where Michonne was introduced and saves Andrea, and from then I started watching it again. And that was from Mason Down 13.
I started The Walking Dead in season 2. The game is what originally got me into the series.
I started the show in 2010 when I was 7 on RTE. Now I'm 18, says Amber Kelly. Hey, RTE is an Irish station. TWD Universe on Instagram said, I first watched TWD on Netflix and binge watched the rest. I got invested into the show after hearing about the 2 deaths from 701. I've never regretted watching the show ever since. Gillian on Instagram said, I've been a part of the TWD family since I was 10. My favourite memory has to be watching the first episode when I was 10 on Halloween night. All my friends were out trick-or-treating and I got to experience one of the best moments ever. I'm so thankful for everything this family has done for me. It was a dream come true when I finally met them and I'm so grateful for this, but I'm so gutted it's ending.
Hello, my name is Alexis and I'm here to tell you my Walking Dead story. I found out about The Walking Dead when I was 9 years old by my mom. The Walking Dead has been a part of my life for so long. I went through a really rough time in 6th grade. I was being bullied a lot and I couldn't necessarily fit in and I didn't really find my personality at the moment. It's brought me some sort of comfort and not always worrying about going to the negativity. I could watch this show without feeling judged. It's meant so much to me and it's taught me that family isn't always blood, and I can be kind to people. I can show my feelings. I can ask for help. I can give help even when it's not needed. The actors in the show, I think they just need more recognition because they tell these amazing, beautiful stories that some people don't really understand, but some people really do relate to. I can't wait to see Rick and Michonne again, and I just love all the characters, and I hope that someone can see this. This show has just done so many things. It's taught me the most valuable lessons in my life, and it's crazy. But I wanted to thank Katie for having this idea, because this was an amazing idea and I was so glad to be a part of it. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see season 11. See. Bye.
Hello, this is my submission or whatever for Katie's project. I wanted to go through the topics. Just want to say, Katie, you're probably one of my you are my favorite Walking Dead YouTubers. But anyways, so I wanted to say, when I started the show, I started it a couple of years back. I had always heard of the show, but I decided that one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and finally watch it. So glad I did. One of my favorite shows of all time, if not my favorite. Absolutely love it, and now I own a lot of stuff about it.
Hey Katie, Willie here. And the first time I saw The Walking Dead, I was at my mom's house in North Carolina. And I just happened to be walking through the living room, and it was on AMC. Well, when I looked at the TV, I happened to see like the pictures of Rick and Shane, you know, in the credits or whatever, when the show started. And I was like, what is this? Is this a cop show or something like that? So I kept watching, and eventually I saw, you know, Rick shoot the little girl, the little zombie girl in the head, which is freaking awesome, by the way. I mean, zombie kids are just freaking awesome. So, like, I saw that, and then I saw the whole thing with Rick and Shane with the little shootout. And then when he woke up, I was like, oh man, it's the apocalypse. And then when I saw the Half Walker, I was hooked. I was hooked from that point on. So, that was the first time I've seen The Walking Dead. Completely caught up, and I can't wait to see the finale.
Josh over on Instagram said, I first started watching the show when I was 13 in season 7. My sister had it on DVD and she let me watch it. And I was like, yes, this is kind of my show. So I started watching on TV from season 8 onwards. This is an email from Martin, who is 21, from the Czech Republic. He says, I'm a bit more of a fan of the comic book version, so I'm sticking with the fact there shouldn't be a cure. Nor that the Walker should be stronger, faster or smarter, but I still really like the series. My first experience happened to be late at night. I switched to the channel of the Prima Cool TV station, where by pure chance it was just starting. But the problem was, I didn't know. I was too tired, and it was episode 409. Michonne just cut off the hands of 2 walkers and then impaling Herschel's reading is difficult. And then impaling Herschel's severed head. At the time, I even thought he was a villain at first glance. Then she finally left with a burning prison in the background. It all felt more like the end to me, so I turned it off and went to sleep. I didn't really start watching the series until sometimes later, but then I was tired and I saw it in a distorted way, and moreover at that age it seemed to me like brutality, which it is sometimes, but I overlook it because it's a plot. But I still regret that night I thought that it's the end of the episode and that I didn't watch it. What a story. Bree over on Twitter said, I had first started watching TWD when I was around 14 years old, when the beginning episodes of season 5 had just begun to air. My cousin had suggested we watch it, and I replied with, let's do it, sounds cool. So when we started from season 1, episode 1, I was immediately hooked. 8 years later, it's still my favourite show, and I often go back to rewatch every season when I want to feel a sense of comfort. That may sound weird considering it's a show about zombies, but it's also been that show that I could turn to when things get tough.
Hi, my name is Dee, and this is my The Walking Dead story. So I first started watching the show very recently, about 4 or 5 months ago. My mum asked me to watch it, and I said no, because I didn't like zombies. My mind very much changed.
Anthony over on Twitter said, I started watching The Walking Dead in 2010, season 1, episode 4, Vatos. I was mesmerised by Andrea and Amy discussing the different fishing knots their father taught them. It was so well framed and the dialogue was so well acted. You might say I was hooked. Lol. But I digress. I stumbled onto the show on accident. I just got home from working the night shift at the hospital on a cold November night, and I needed to unwind before I could go to bed. So me and my cats, Jerry and Kramer, cuddled up on the couch, and I turned on TV and began channel surfing, and eventually I landed on AMC, but being so tired I couldn't catch the title of the show. But there we are, Amy and Andrea having a deep conversation about their age difference and how they learned to fish from their father. I found it curious. And as I said earlier, everything about that simple scene captivated me. So I kept watching. Eventually we saw Rick and company getting to go get some guns and look for some guy named Merle. I think it was then I saw my first zombie. I mean walker. Lol. Yet I wasn't scared because I was not a fan of anything horror related on any level. I blame a babysitter who made me watch Psycho and the Birds by Alfred Hitchcock at age 5. Yeah, man, that'll do it. Also, my mom took me and my cousin to a haunted house at age 7, thinking it could be a safe and fun thing, not knowing what was in store for us. In the 1970s, haunted house attractions allowed the actors to grab the patrons. I mentioned this to give a perspective on why, if I had any idea I would be drawn to such a show, which showed people being violently ripped apart by zombies, I would have laughed. Luckily, I stayed with the show, as it brought me into the world of reaction videos on YouTube after watching 701. You helped me cope with the graphic death of Abraham and Glenn at the end in Negan. You were the first reactor I saw back then, and you were kind enough to respond to me in the comment sections, even promising to say hello to Enya. So I will end it here by saying that day back in 2010, AMC did a rebroadcast of episodes 1 to 3, and I stayed up and watched them all. I knew then I was hooked, and my fear of horror was gobbled up. Yeah, Anthony, I never did meet Anya, but if I ever do, I will say hello from you.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew, and the first episode that I ever watched of The Walking Dead was 101 Days Gone By in 2016 when I was in the 6th grade, and I heard it about it from my teachers and some students that were talking to her, some of my classmates, and I thought I was going to check it out. I was alone because my mom, she's not really into gore, which, if you didn't know, The Walking Dead has quite a bit of it in it, but I just remember being instantly hooked to the show from the moment it was on screen. And I think I remember seeing a little bit of 505 Self-Help earlier, like a year earlier, with my dad and my brother in a hotel room, and we just weren't interested, so I didn't really think about it. I didn't really remember until I saw the episode that I saw it. But yeah, so I binged from 101, and the first episode I ever watched live was 6/16, Last Day on Earth. A big one to watch for the first time on live. But I remember being outraged by the cliffhanger at the time, thinking I had to wait like 3-4 months to watch who died. And I remember just throwing my TV remote at the wall and it shattering. So yeah, that's how I got into The Walking Dead.
Matthew over on Twitter said, I started the show during the prison arc. I remember seeing all this love for David Morrissey's portrayal of the governor that I just had to give it a watch. So I started from season 1, episode 1, and have continued to watch the show to this day, often restarting it whenever I find myself missing the characters and plotlines. So funnily enough, if it wasn't for David and his stellar performance, I might never have picked up on my favourite show of all time. Richard Harrington over on Instagram said, Hey Katie, so here goes. How I started the show TWD. Didn't like zombie stuff too much, but because everyone was talking about the show, I decided to check out a little of season 4. I lost interest. Then I wanted to try it again. So I watched I watched your reaction to season 6 to get a taste of it again without watching an entire episode. I saw the show through her eyes and understood how good it really was. Then I started watching full episodes, starting with the lineup with Negan, and got hooked. But dude, I'm so glad to hear that I was any part of the reason that you got back into the show. In the Femur over on Instagram said, Hello, my name is Emma, I'm 21. I live in Ireland and I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead, and have been ever since I was about 14. I've never really done anything like this before, so I'm not quite sure how this will turn out, but hopefully it'll be intelligible. I really don't know where to even start with this show. No piece of television has ever had such an impact on me before, and I highly doubt that I'll ever experience that again. I've loved everything about it, from the characters, cast, special effects, storyline, the subtle nods to the current state of our reality, right down to the soundtrack. I even found myself relating to a lot of the characters, and although I've never experienced a literal apocalypse, I can definitely sympathise, particularly with characters such as Carl, Rick and Maggie, under the subjects of loss, illness, insecurity and fear. And Emma, you had another bit of the message added on to the end here, but I have cut that and that's going into one of the upcoming videos. I think I'll be putting that one into the messages to the cast and crew. So don't worry, the rest of your message will be read out. Oh yeah, Days over on Instagram said, I started watching when the second season was just beginning. From the first episode, I wondered how I didn't even know about this show. All I can say is Andrew Lincoln's performance as Rick Grimes was and is captivating. I haven't missed an episode since. Then Norman Reedus showed up and showed out. Good heavens. Every episode starting off with him on his motorcycle is simply the best. You just knew it was going to be a good one. The first season prepared you to not be prepared. I know it can't go on forever, but my people, what an excellent series. The characters get you at the heartstrings. The cast is just outstanding.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm 21 years old and I live in Northern Ireland. So I started watching The Walking Dead back in May 2017. I was 16 years old, just about to start my GCSE exams, and I had no notion. Like, I was in such a really upset way and just, you know what, fed up because exam stress and me do not mix. So, seeing The Walking Dead on my Amazon page that evening, and like I had seen it for months, but I hate horror movies, so I thought this will be a good time to watch a really scary like TV show just before I do my first GCSE. Yeah, I watched 3 episodes that night, wasn't in bed till 2 and had to be up for like 7. I had a really good day that next day. Yeah, and yeah, ever since then I've been hooked. Started my Stan Twitter page saying September 2018, so I'm walking with Megs, by the way. And ever since then, I've been hooked. Started watching Fear then the following year. Watched 3 seasons, gave up, as per usual. Watched World Beyond, watched both of those seasons, and I'm going to be there for the spin-offs too. Apart from maybe the Maggie and Egan one, but that's a sensitive subject. So yeah, it's been a journey. I wish I could go back and be like, nah, why did you do that for Megan? You're going to just get extremely hooked onto it. You're going to just, everything's going to be about The Walking Dead in your life. And it really has been. Like, it's been 5 years since I have done those exams. And I don't regret any of it, to be fair. Like, The Walking Dead saved my life. And I'm eternally grateful for it. And I'm so sad to see it going. But thank goodness I can sleep. Jokes.
I first started watching The Walking Dead back in 2015, there or thereabouts. I was on my lonesome, I'd heard a lot about the show and I thought, let's give it a go. And fast forward so many years, I'm hooked and I got this one into it as well.
Yeah, I started watching it in 2019, before COVID hit, because I very fondly remember playing Walking Dead Monopoly with this one. And then throughout the whole of COVID, binging it, and I watched all of the episodes in about a week or 2.
Yeah. He went a bit crazy. I was the one that paced myself and watched it over about 6 months. So yeah, that's how we first got into the show.
And that's it for video 1. Thank you guys so much for all your beautiful submissions. The love fest has begun. I'm feeling the love. My inbox on almost every social media platform and the email account that I set up is just filled with love for the show and stories and pictures and videos from people from all over the world, and it's beautiful. So video number 2, which is your favourite episode, character or moment from a show. Episode 2 is going up next Saturday, so 1 week from today. If you'd like to be a part of that and you haven't yet sent in your submissions, make sure you send them to the email that's down below in the little Dropbox part underneath the video. It's OurTWDstories@yahoo.com. You can tag me in them on Instagram. You can DM me them on Instagram as well if you want to. If you have video submissions, make sure you send them to me through WeTransfer using the same email. So it's OurTWDstories@yahoo.com. Try and keep your videos shorter than 2 minutes, because then I can include more people. And I want everyone to have a chance to get their little part in. If you want to do a video for each topic, which you totally can. I was so surprised at the amount of people asking that, like, can I do one for all topics? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Just make sure you keep each clip or talking point on each topic under 2 minutes long. Send in as much stuff as you want to send in. The show's coming to an end, and let's send it out with a bang. Let's send it out with so much love and as many stories as we can compile together. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for taking part, and I can't wait for video 2.